So, hello students, today again we are starting another lecture, generation of solid waste. So, in the previous lecture we discussed about generation, how important to measure the quantification of the quantity and volume of waste, not only for the disposal, but also for the treatment and transportation or collection of solid waste. Now, we will extend the same discussion, and in this lecture we will discuss about one very important issue about, I think in previous class also I explained about the difference between generation rate and collection rate, and also very important issue, that is the factor affecting the generation rate. I think everyone knows about the 3R in municipal solid waste management, that 3 R's are reduce, reuse and recycle. So, here we will see that what are the different factors will affect the generation rate, and how these 3 R's like reduce, reuse and recycle is possible quantity of the waste or generation of the waste. So, the same way the waste generation is the first functional element of MSWM, and here this lecture is factor affecting solid waste generation rate. So, we will start with the first, the waste collection rate. Waste collected include the commingled waste or mixed waste. This is the mixed waste, and before Swachh Bharat mission in India, most of the cities have this kind of collection system. Entire waste is mixed together, whether it is a dry, wet, metals, glass, paper, plastic, and even household hazardous waste also including in the same waste. That was the collection we normally call as a commingled waste collection system in community without recycling program. And now under Swachh Bharat mission, this was the major thought behind the Swachh Bharat mission, where waste collected in source separated way. Here the dry matter, especially the paper and different dry matters easily get recycled. The organic waste which is highly degradable will go to the compost plant or biogas production plant, and the remaining one will go to the disposal site. The waste will only go to the disposal site which is not possible to recycle, not possible to produce any kind of product out of that. That was the thought behind the source separated waste collection system, which is majorly proposed under the Swachh Bharat mission. Now, if you see the difference between the collection rate and generation rate, most of the studies says that the variation vary from 4 to 15%, and especially I think this is the globally we can say that the difference between collection and generation rate goes to 4 to 15%, but India because our collection frequency is not that high. We will see in the few slides the collection efficiency of different cities or different state of the state of India, but globally we can say that goes to up to 15%, but in India it is possible that it will be the more than 15% difference between the generation rate and collection rate. So, if you see this one figure where it was given the collection efficiency comparison of few Indian cities between year 2010 and to 2015. So, it is a 100% collection line. If you see that the collection efficiency percentage in 2010 in the blue color, and another color that collection efficiency percentage in 2015. So, if you see here, some of the states already in 2015 achieved 100% collection efficiency, but some of the states like Maharashtra, where earlier the collection frequency was very high, but now the collection efficiency have been reduced. Maybe is because of more waste generation, because of commercialization and industrialization. And I think these are the few points where we can see that why there will be a variation in the generation and collection rate. The first point is the quantity of solid waste generated, collected vary daily, weekly, monthly and seasonally. That we already see in the generation, the quantity production itself is a vary. Not only with the monthly or seasonally, but in the daily also the waste generation is getting varied or is getting changed, and largest variation occurred with individual residents, small commercial establishment. That is the another point where the small residents and the small commercial establishment, lot of variations will be in the generation rate. And also the generation residential waste rates usually peak during the festive season. That is another, and in India lot of festivals. In these festivals events or festival season, a huge amount of waste is getting produced and different compositions also changing. So, because of that your collection rate also is varied a lot. In general, as the size of the waste source increase, the variation in the peak days, week and monthly decreases. When lot of amount of waste is getting generated in the small localities also, the variation also will be less in that case. So, this is another graph where we will see that the different states of India have the collection efficiency. Now, I think some of the states like they already achieved high collection efficiencies, but I think still the some of the states like Kerala, the collection efficiency in Kerala is less than 40%, whereas same in Maharashtra is greater than 95%. That is a CPCB report. Now, this is another one more example of variation in the amount of MSW generated and collected in one of the European countries named Romania from year 2003 to 2010, where you will see that their generation in thousands per ton was in 2003 and was it in 2010. The variation was 15%, 20% variation was there in the generation rate and collection rate. Now, we will go for the factors affecting waste generation rate. This is one of the very important issue, how based, and once we know what are the factors affecting generation rate or collection rate, we will be able to reduce itself the waste at the source. So, once you are able to reduce the waste at source, it is very easy to go for collection system and easy to get disposed of or treatment. The first effect is the effect of source reduction on waste generation. Now, this is the first point, decrease unnecessary or excessive packaging. So, now you see that I think in the online purchase lot of packaging materials are coming. So, if you reduce this unnecessary or excessive packaging, is easy to reduce the waste quantity also. So, now here reduction of online shopping and packaging is unnecessary. Whatever is unnecessary, that if you can ban or you can reduce that, easy to reduce the quantity of solid waste. Now, this another point is substitute reusable product for disposable single use product. Now, recently that India had banned the single use plastic. So, similar way these disposable items, especially in the festival seasons, we are using lot of disposable materials, which only once is usable, after that it is going to the disposal site. So, if you can replace the reusable plates or reusable materials, so we can reduce lot of quantity of solid waste at disposal site. Now, another point in this same reduction, source reduction, develop and use product with greater durability and repairability. Now, you see that most of our packaging materials are coming into the cardboards. If you can give this packaging material in reusable or durable or reusable packaging, those kind of packaging can be useful for the some other purposes. So, that because of that also lot of waste can be reduced onto the disposal site. So, use fewer resources wherever is possible. See, here is the one other example. If you use the paper in one side, if you use for the both sides, obviously the paper production or paper waste production also will get reduced very easily. This is another example, that increase the recyclable material content of product, like replacement of disposable diaper with biodegradable bamboo diaper or reusable cloth diapers. That is another very important material is coming to the disposal site. Now, because these kind of waste normally we called as a household hazardous waste, this is very difficult to get treat also, and very difficult to dispose into the municipal disposal sites. If you can replace such kind of material with the recyclable material, so obviously once it is get cleaned, those diapers can be useful for the degradation process. Maybe we won't be able to produce the compost out of that, but at least it won't get disposed into the disposal site, it will get degrade it wherever is possible. So obviously the total quantity of waste generation, not only the waste generation but also collection also will get reduced. So this is the second point of effect of recycling activity on waste generation. This is one of the very important factor to reduce the waste generation or collection. That is, the first point is the extent of recycling in community level affect the collection rate. So now you see that the what kind of waste is getting generated. Now first we will see the dry waste which are highly recyclable. Now first is the cardboard and paper board is highly recyclable. If you get separate out its source itself and getting collected, to source separated waste is getting collected and easily can go for the recycling process. Another is glass, highly recyclable. Plastic, if it is get separated at source and if it is not mixed with the other waste easily can be recyclable. Is paper, the office paper, newspaper, magazines, all these papers are recyclable, and whatever metal, aluminum, tin cans, these all recyclable. So if it is getting segregated at source itself and specially get collected and directly go to the recycling facilities, so it won't go to the disposal site. So obviously the quantity reaches to the disposal site will get reduced very easily. Even your collection frequency also will get reduced. Now another waste from the same household, that is wet waste, also is getting produced, that is having larger quantity because of more moisture content, but easily degradable. So once I think if you try to get degrade at source itself, whether is a source or household level or is a community level, if you able to reduce this waste, need not to provide the collection for this such kind of waste. If it is getting degraded or if it is getting treated at community level itself, so we need not to have the collection, need not to require any space into the disposal sites. So this is one of the important factors. By that way we can easily reduce the waste. So another, I think here I am giving some facts and figures of India why we have to promote more recycling or more treatment facilities at household level or community level. So if you see the waste management data in India by 2014-15, your collection is 91%, but treatment is only 27%, but most of the waste goes to the disposal site. This is the status in 2014-15. The current also in 2019-20 also your collection efficiency is obviously has increased because of Swachh Bharat mission, but I think or most of the waste is goes to the disposal site. Now here some prediction is given, the waste generation in India by 2030 in expected and 2045 expected. See that currently the waste generation is 42 million tons in 2017, now is currently to 65 to 66 in 2019 and 20 million tons per day. Now you see that 2030 the expected waste will be 165 million tons, and 2045 the waste generation will be 450 millions per year annually. So you see that how difficult will be the management of solid waste if you are not properly propose the recycling facilities. Now here see the material consumption in India is expected to rise 3 times by 2025, and by 2030 India shall need landfill of 88 square kilometer, that is a size of Bengaluru. That much size of disposal site will be required to dispose the waste in 2030. But now you see the currently recycling data in India, we have only I think we are good into the plastic recycling 60%, paper and metal percentage is not that good, and lower percentage, that is the low percentage of recycling. So, that is what that is the by seeing these facts and figure, we can easily understand that why India has to be focus on to the more recycling, and especially these recycling or treatment at household level or community level, because if you can do it in this both way, whether it is a household level or community level, not only we can reduce the size of landfill site, but also we can reduce the cost of collection or transportation. That is one of the most costly process in the municipal solid waste management. Now, this is one more data from the recycling status of USA. You will see that in US overall recycling rate is 35 to 35.2% in year 2017. That is much higher than the India, but I think every country globally, not only India but every other country, whether it is a US or Europe or Asian countries, has to be proposed more recycling activity to reduce the waste. There are some reasons. I think everyone knows this previous slide also, you have seen that most of the waste, whether it is a paper, plastic, rubber, leather, glass, metal, these all recyclable matters. Only the important issue is that all material has to be separated, and that is only possible when you are able to collect it from the source, this collected matter, and how best you are able to collect it and send it to the recycling facility. There are some reasons why we are not able to promote more recycling, because of social awareness and political will. That is also one very important point where we are not extending our recycling facility. The another point, unorganized waste collection and segregation mechanism. In India, especially this recycling is managed by the informal sector. You know about the rack picking is very high in India. I think there are some reports says that in Delhi 10% of waste is getting collected by the rack pickers, and the population of rack pickers goes to the more than 10 lakhs. And these rack pickers are targeting only the recyclable matters, but that is also if these recyclable matters is contaminated, like suppose the plastic, I think you see in our house what kind of waste we are doing the collection or storing the waste. We are purchasing the dustbin, that dustbin we are packaging with the plastic, and then we are disposing the waste. And suppose you are disposing the biological waste or kitchen waste into that, now you see that this biological waste will degrade, because it is a degradable, but now this plastic is also not get collected by the rack pickers, not by rack pickers, even no one will collect those kind of plastic, because it is already contaminated by the biological waste. Now, suppose if you want to go for recycling of such kind of plastic bags, that bags has to be cleaned properly, and then only we can go for recycling one. But most of the rack pickers, they won't collect such kind of plastic. So, that is the problem now. So, that is why under Swachh Bharat mission the collection is proposed, that the house to house collection has been proposed, and that is in the 3 different parts. The dry waste is getting collected separately, wet waste is getting separately. So, both waste won't get mixed together. And also the third type of waste, that is household hazardous waste like paint or diapers, these should not be mixed into not into the dry matter also, not into the wet matter also, and same way has to be get collected and send it to the treatment facility or recycling facility. Another lack of improved municipal infrastructure. Now, you see that if you are proposing more recycling or treatment facility at community level, obviously lot of infrastructure is required. Why I am saying that infrastructure? Suppose at household level the residents people are able to segregate the waste. We need to also provide the proper separated collection facilities, means you will be required different kind of vehicle for the collection of different kind of material, like for wet waste will be required for different vehicle, for dry waste will be required for special collection system. Maybe your collection also has to be, collection mechanism also has to be changed, and again we need to be ready for the treatment facility or recycling facility. If you are able to segregate at household level and if you are able to collect it, you need to have the recycling facility is available, your biological treatment facility should be available. These kind of infrastructure is required with the municipal, then only your segregation will be more beneficial. But I think most of the corporation do not have this kind of infrastructure facility, and most of our policies also is not incorporating that this is a management system. So, is not only to having one compost plant, you need to have proper segregation also, and followed by proper treatment facility also is required. Now, these are lack of appropriate technologies to maximize recovery from paper and metal recycling. This is also very important one. Suppose you are able to segregate at household level, also able to collect it in separated way, but also you need proper technology, proper treatment facilities for that kind of material, those material recycling. So, I think these are the few reasons, and in Swachh Bharat mission there are lot of infrastructure has been provided to the corporation, and few corporation already started the segregated waste collection and followed by the treatment, so that very small amount of quantity of waste will reach to the disposal site. But I think again we have to propose more recycling and treatment facilities to reduce the waste to reach to the disposal site. Now, this is another factor, there is effect of public attitude and legislation on waste generation. First we will see the public attitude. This is very important again, that significant reduction is possible in waste generation when people are well aware about the natural resources and reduce the waste generation. So, here one example, like if public attitude will change by using these kind of plastic bags and will get replaced by the jute bag or cloth bags, obviously the waste generation will be reduced, and that is also depend upon the public attitude. So, under Swachh Bharat mission there are lot of activities had been planned to increase the awareness. This is another important issue in waste management after the segregation, that is awareness. People should be aware, they should know that once they are using such kind of material, what could be the problem, what could be the problem with the disposal site, or what could be the environmental issues if they are using such kind of materials for the utilizations. And another point into that, legal law and legislation. This is also another important factor. If your legal laws or your regulation or legislation says that the packaging, how best we will be able to packaging, so obviously we will be able to reduce the packaging waste material. And there is one of the, you see here the chips packets, and most of the plastic is produced by the chips packet, PET bottle, your garbage bags, packaging, bottle caps. These kind of different materials or different ways the plastic is getting generated in India. So, here another news that sustainable snack material, what's out there. So, I think this is the major problem from which we are getting large amount of plastic material. So, because why we are using the plastic here, because the metallized propylene is that will help to preserve the strong flavors in the food, and that is why I think this plastic is using for the packaging material. But now there are some alternatives, might you heard of bioplastics, which are getting produced from the biomass material and easily gets degradable. So, I think that could be one of the alternative from the plastic materials. These are not the single use plastics, but very difficult to dispose such kind of plastic, this packaging material. So, I think now there are lot of research is going on bioplastics or polymer based plastic or polylactic acids or PLA based plastics can be one of the alternate for the packaging plastics. This is another point of encouraging the purchase and use of recycled material by allowing different pricing also can reduce the waste generation. Like you see, this is one of the news that is the waste from your online deliveries choking Bangalore. So, these kind of packaging material are getting produced. That is the major garbage problem was in the Bangalore. So, why not we can propose such kind of packaging material which are highly durable also and can be reused also very easily. This kind of material we do not dispose into the garbage bins. So, use of durable and reusable or recycling packaging at different pricing could be possible. Now, another point is effect of geographic and physical factors on waste generation. So, in the geographic locations also, like normally is explained in this way, hilly areas produce less waste than to the plain area, and maybe because of that availability of materials in the plain area is more. So, obviously, the more waste is getting generated compared to the hilly stations, and also the season based. The production in like waste production in higher during the warmer weather than the cold weather. Here also the very important point that the biological waste generation. Obviously, in the winter season we will getting lot of vegetable matters, vegetables, lot of food materials. So, obviously, the large amount of biological waste will get generated into the winter season compared to the dry matter, but in the warmer season I think the compositions will be more dried compared to the biological nature of the waste. This is one of the photo you can see the waste dumping in the Dehradun or Uttarakhand in the hilly area. And the another point is frequency of collection. So, here we can see that more waste are generated in the area with unlimited collection services. This is one very important point, important factor for waste generation. Suppose I will give some example onto this. Suppose your collection frequency is very high. Suppose once in a day waste is getting collected from your house. So, obviously, you know that every day somebody is coming and collecting the waste. So, you need not to worry about how much waste you are getting generated at the household level, because you know that next morning some crew member will come and collect the waste from my house or from that particular locality. So, but if you reduce the collection frequency, maybe collection frequency once in a or alternate day or once in a week. Suppose once in a week you can provide the collection frequency. You know that next morning nobody is coming to collect the waste, only once in a week, maybe in Sunday somebody is coming and waste is getting collected. So, you know that by Monday you will start to reduce the waste. You know that because the crew member will come on to the next Sunday. So, Monday onward you will try to reduce the waste as much as reduction is possible. You will try to reduce the waste, especially the biological waste, because you know that the biological waste odor and leaching will get start within few days, maybe 2 days, 3 days. You will try to reduce the biological waste, but also that is not good to reduce the collection frequency once in a week. Obviously, your waste generation will get reduced in large percentage once your collection frequency is reduced. I can give one example of Shillong city. It is a hilly city in northeast India where most of the location waste is getting collected once in a week. Maybe because of their transportation is not that good in the hilly areas. So, the vehicles, that big size vehicles are not able to go on every day. So, Sunday they are providing the collection of the waste. So, obviously waste people are trying to reduce the waste onto the weekdays, so that large amount won't be get stored at their house for the collection on Sunday. But I also do not say that if you reduce the collection frequency once in a week, that is very difficult for the household people or commercial facilities. But alternate day collection, if it is possible that, and also can possible that collection frequency for the different waste. The dried waste need not to collect every day, but wet waste will get collect every day. So, obviously, because you can't store it for 1 day or 2 days, this biological waste onto the household level. So, wet waste collected daily and dry waste once in a week or alternate days will get collect. So, obviously, your waste generation also is possible to reduce by managing proper collection frequency. This is another one factors by that we are seeing that waste generation, that characteristics of the service area. You say there are some data where we can see that the high income group countries or high income group areas are generating large amount of waste compared to the low income countries. Like here we can see that is the World Bank LIG country collect 48% of waste in the city, which decreased to 26% outside of the urban area. So, here also I think once you know the characteristics of that particular city, also we can understand what kind of compositions are changing, what kind of waste generation different sources is getting changed, and especially in India because whatever the policy is adopted by one city is very difficult to same policy has to be given to the another city, because every city have different characteristics, different commercial facilities, different festival, different seasons. So, based on that we can have different policies and policies and different recycling facilities could be possible to adopt for the different city. So, I think we will close this lecture by understanding the different ones. So, I was telling about that reduce, reuse and recycle. So, this lecture we specially seen that there are a lot of factors by that we will be able to reduce the generation, and especially if you can more target. Obviously, many times government of India has proposed 3R policies and many city has adopted that, but I think it was very difficult to accept that because the waste collection was not onto the segregated way. Now, under Swachh Bharat mission, waste is getting already segregated at household level. Now, if you adopt these 3R policies like reduce, reuse and recycle policy at household level or community level, we are able to reduce large amount of waste which unnecessary is going to the disposal site. So, thank you for listening.